hidden. All right, welcome to yoga. If you haven't already made your way into a comfortable seat, you can do that now. Oh, and I always try to make announcements at the beginning, and I'll do it now. It'll be recorded. So currently our schedule is as follows. I'm going to teach Tuesdays every other week, Fridays every other week. I know it's confusing. It's not the same day, but it's I'm either going to be at the co-op or on Zoom. So this week is Zoom. Next week, it'll be Friday at the co-op. And I emailed out the schedule, and the schedule is also on the website. So when you go to the little links for the Zoom or for Honest Weight, it just says the dates where I'll be. I'm sorry, it's a little confusing. I'm trying to manage my schedule best I can with school and everything. All right, sorry, last announcement. So find your way into a comfortable seat if you haven't already. If you'd rather be lying down, you can do that. And as you start to kind of settle in, remind yourself that you made a conscious decision to roll out your yoga mat today, a decision to carve out this time and space for you. So just take a moment and honor that fact, whether that means, telling the animals to stay in their beds or whatever it is, silencing the phone. So just, kind of recognize oh, this is for me, right? And then send yourself a little thank you for making this time for you. And start the process of letting your mind dive into your experience. In other words, notice what it's like to sit. You feel the sitting bones pressing into the ground or cushion or yoga mat. Feel the crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Feel the shoulders broad and relaxed. Bring awareness to the muscles of your face, to the scalp, to the sort of top, right? And let everything start to dissolve away. Tension can dissolve, thoughts can dissolve, plans, to-do lists, all that stuff can just melt away. And think of the thoughts that come up no different than any other system in your body, right? Just like the muscles and the bones. Let everything be soft. And then notice your neck and throat. There is going to be movement here. Breath moves in one direction and then the other. And start to notice your shoulders, your very top ribs, your upper back, the chest. And allow that sensation of everything kind of melting away start to cascade down. So through the back, towards the belly. And let it get deeper, right? That sense of ease and relaxation moves into the lungs, the organs in the abdomen, the low back. And let that sensation of ease start to move down hips, pelvis, legs, all the way to your feet. And allow the awareness to move through the whole body now. Just breathing. And let your mind stay with the breath as it starts to gently and gradually deepen and slow down. Working your way very gently towards a comfortable, complete breath. Working towards empty and then towards full. In as gentle a way as you can. If you'd like, you can add ujjayi breath with that ocean sounding breath with a soft constriction in the back of the throat. everything in the body that can be relaxed, relax. At any movement when you feel like you need it. And then come back to the breath. And you're welcome to stay here for a minute or two longer with this deep breathing, maybe ujjayi if you'd like. You can also transition. I'm going to transition into a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing. So if and when you want to do that, when you're ready, you just close the right nostril first and inhale through the left. And then when you're full, you switch sides. You exhale through the right nostril. So it's always an inhale, a switch, an exhale. So take your time, breathing slowly. If this works for you, if you're stuffy, this isn't going to work. So that's fine. You can skip it. If you'd like to play with a little breath retention at the top of the inhale, you can do that a couple seconds or two. Letting all your mind's attention focus on what it sounds like to breathe, what it feels like to breathe. Whenever you feel ready, you can release your alternate nostril breathing or all your breathing practices, whichever ones you're doing. And then just pause. Notice how you feel. Gently adding an intention or a gentle reminder to yourself, right? To keep coming back to whatever it is, whatever you need today. Maybe it's just a sense of gratitude for what your body can do today. Maybe it's just this reminder that this is self-care at its finest. Sometimes we just have to rearrange our mind towards it. So just like setting your focus, your goal, your intention, whatever word works best for you. Then you can bring your hands into prayer position in front of the heart. And we did this on Friday, but if you keep we'll do that like that lotus flower mudra. So if you keep your pinkies together, your thumbs together, but spread all your other fingers wide apart, the base of the hand stays together, and I'm doing it. And you just place it right at the heart or underneath the chin. I always think of it like the buttercup flowers that we play with when we were kids, right? That lights up the chin. So think of this flower lighting up your face. So taking the energy right from your heart, shining up your face. So let's keep this mudra, but we'll join our voices in the sound of Om. Obviously, we can't hear each other, but that's okay. You can listen if you want. You can join if you want. We'll sort of feel it. So take a breath in. Good. Bring your hands back into prayer. Bow your head to your heart, maybe resting your fingers on the center of your forehead. You can always deepen the breath again. Notice stretch in the back of the neck, tops of the shoulders. And you can release your hands. And we'll move into a really slow As you inhale, just really slowly roll your head up to one side and then back down and over to the other side. So that's the framework, right? That's the very general direction, but maybe finding out what would feel good to you. Is there a subtle variation? Something that you can feel through, but maybe is a little tricky to language. Maybe you pause on one side for another breath before you continue on. So just trying in this really simple movement, just practicing like trusting your body. Minds override the body, what it needs, but we want to just practice trusting the body. Sometimes a movement might happen that we didn't realize we needed. Or we didn't realize was a possibility. Oh, shoot. Sorry. You probably can't even hear that because I'm wearing a microphone, but my my email chime just went off and then I said shoot. So you guys all heard that. Sorry. All right. So when you're ready, come back to center and stillness and just notice. All right, let's start to move out of this sitting position. So you can remove any props you're sitting on, stretch your legs out, and just take a moment to get the legs a little happier, right? Stretching them out, circling or rotating the feet. You can lean back on your hands. To me, my back is feeling a little stuck today, a little cranky. So I'm just gonna like keep moving the back. So you can do that if you need, and then you can go the other way if you're circling your feet. We're gonna get into the spine. Sometimes my back is like, no, now, do it now, right? So we can always add that in, right? Okay, so from here, hands behind you or forearms, up to you. It's a very typical way to start a carry class, right? Bend the knees, feet wide apart, and let your knees go side to side. Even though this might be a very typical way to start a carry class, can you do this as if you've never done this before, right? Can you let your mind notice all the details in the feet, from temperature to texture to weight shifting, all the details in the hips and the glutes, temperature, texture, weight shifting, twisting. And then the same thing up through the back. There's movement. I'm feeling movement even in my shoulders. So let your mind just move all the way up. And then let your knees go over to the right. And then rearrange so that you are comfortable. So if a knee is squishing a foot, move your knees a little wider apart. And we're going to do dolphin from here. So hands on stacked on the right knee or on either side of the right knee. You can inhale to sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, just start to round the back as you dive down, nose towards knee. And then inhale to unfurl, nose first, then chest. Ribs kind of stick out as you arch the back. And then exhale, shift back on your sitting bones and then round to dive down. So it's kind of like cat and cow. We're just in a different shape. We call it dolphin. So maybe it helps you, if you're a visual person, to visualize the body of a dolphin skimming through the surface of the water as easily as it can, having fun. Right? So notice how your spine feels. If anything doesn't feel so great, modify, rearrange, readjust. Maybe adding a deeper breath. erring on the side of caution. If you've got anything going on today, right? Erring on the side of caution. My back was talking to me before, so I was doing this really, really small, and then it went, you know what? We feel okay, right? So you got to, listen to the body. All right. So next time you're coming up, come back up to seated or neutral. Knees can stay where they are over to the right. And bring your left hand to your left hip and your right hand beside your right thigh. And as you inhale, just press your hip forward, start to twist your torso, looking right a bit. And then exhale, unwind, kind of twisting slightly the other way. So inhaling, pressing forward, exhaling to neutral and ever so slightly the other way. Good. And the next time you're twisted, just stay there. Let your left hand join the right one. And then notice what your pelvis is doing. Can you point your tailbone towards the ground? Can you elongate through the spine? And then gently find a twist that feels comfortable to you. Breathe. So where can you relax? Making sure that you're not like muscling your way through this stretch. That you're finding a place where you can soften. Good. And then when you're ready, you can unwind. Bring the hands or forearms behind you. Knees can come up and allowing the knees to go side to side. So go gently, go cautiously, do whatever you need. Modify any way that you need to. Good. And then allowing the knees to go the other way, over to the left. We'll do dolphin to start. So hands either on the left knee or on either side of it. Sorry, I always need a blanket for my foot on this side. And you can begin your dolphin whenever you're ready. So you take a breath in neutral. Exhale is when you dive down, right? Think of it like the scared cat when we do cow. And then inhale to arch the back and unfurl to lift up. And exhale around. So just really letting the breath create this, the belly position is going to help the posture. So as you pull your belly into the spine, the back rounds, and you dive down. As you fill the belly with breath or fill the lungs, the belly expands, you arch, so the belly goes out. Yeah, so just noticing where you feel this, letting the mind move through the spine. Slow, deep breath. And I feel like we were on the first side for a little longer than I'm used to doing it. So we're going to hang out here for a bit longer until we feel even. Good. And eventually finding neutral, coming back up to seated. Or not seated, but shape, whatever this is. Sometimes I want to call it like the pinwheel, legs like a pinwheel. So left hand behind the left leg, right hand on the right hip. So inhaling, pressing, or inhale to press the hip forward and twist. Exhale to glide it back. I know this made before, maybe it still remains. Can you do this as if you've never done it before? Today is a whole new set of circumstances. And you're twisted, you can stay there. Right hand joins the left one. Focus on your pelvis to start. Point the tailbone towards the yoga mat. Lift the crown of the head up towards the sky and then gently twisting. Maybe more, maybe less. It's up to your spine. But deepen the breath, finding out where you can soften. Are you just muscling your way through, or can you really find a place, especially through the diaphragm, and the lungs and ribs, that you can be easygoing and relaxed. Good. When you're ready, you can unwind. Hands or forearms behind you again. Knees can come up and allow them to go side to side. Good. And then you can come back. Let's see. Let's go to the right side again. We'll do that briefly. So let the knees go to the right. If it's comfortable, you can place your right forearm down. I'll turn so you can see me. The right forearm down, right underneath the shoulder. And take the left arm and start to slowly stretch it up towards the ear. This might arch the back a little bit. And then exhale, bring the fingers towards the left leg. It'll round the spine a little bit. So inhale to bring the arm up towards the ear, stretching, arching just slightly. And exhale, the back will round slightly. So next time the arm is towards the ear, just pause there. Good. And then take your heart and start to point it towards the right forearm or towards the yoga mat. So the right shoulder, the left shoulder comes a little closer. And then let your shoulder go up towards the sky, hard up towards the sky. It might feel good to bend the elbow and kind of bring the whole arm back. And then looking down again, reaching the arm straight past the ear, looking down. And I'm doing it if this is confusing. And then inhale, bend the elbow, draw the shoulder back, look up. So just moving with your breath. They're kind of moving in and out of a little twist here as you draw the shoulder back. Good. And then eventually let your left hand come down to the yoga mat. Some people like forearms here. I like to keep my left arm straight, my right forearm on the ground. And then if you want, you can play with the position of the left leg. For me, it feels good to kind of send it back a little bit. And then I stretch into the hip flexor a little more. Another option is you can kind of curl the toes under and be on the ball of your foot as your heel goes up towards the sky. Or you might want to just kind of rock between those two, right? Heel towards the floor and then it goes up. Oh, my toes just cracked. Good. And then eventually bend your left knee again if it isn't already. Kind of shift yourself up. Hands or forearms behind you once again, and let the knees go side to side. Great. And then we'll go the other way. We'll do this side. Sorry, I always need my blanket on this side. There we go. All right. So let's see. You can bring your forearm to the ground, right arm towards the right leg. And then as you inhale, just slowly bring it up towards the ear as you arch the back a little bit. So my low back is pretty tight, so I really feel that. And then exhale, bring the arm towards the leg and look down. So you're kind of, it's a little bit of cat and cow again. Inhale, arm towards the ear, stretch and reach, open the heart. Exhale, hand towards the knee, round the back. So go slow, right? So that you can really notice all the details. And the next time your arm is along the ear, just pause there. You can always send your knee back or lengthen your leg. Whatever is going to feel good. If you're already feeling a stretch with the knee bent, you can stay there. And then we're going to move the upper body a little bit. So as you inhale, bend your elbow draw the arm and elbow back as you look up, almost like you're going to throw a ball. Just like a weird orientation of the body to throw a ball in, but inhale. And then exhale, turn towards the floor, lengthen the arm towards the ear again. I always bring my pinky finger towards the floor, but whatever works. Inhale, bend the elbow, draw the arm back, open the heart towards the sky. Exhale, heart towards the floor. So just moving back and forth with your breath. If the leg needs a different position or if you need to readjust, you can do that. Good. And then eventually bringing your right hand to the ground, or maybe both forearms. I like I said before, I like my arms straight. And then just playing with whatever version of the stretch feels good to you. I like to curl the toes under and lift the heel. And, that was different for me on the last side to this side. So just kind of paying attention to that. Can you let that be okay? Right? That we're not as symmetrical as we think we ought to be. Great. And you can start to shift out of this, bending the right knee. Start to lift up, hands behind, and let the knees go side to side. So I wanted to get into the side body a little bit more. Beautiful. I'm going to keep coming back to the spine. I don't know. It just keeps popping into my mind. So find your way up to seated. Find your sitting bones. You can sit however you want. Knees bent up, out, legs crossed. It's really up to you. It's up to your body, really. So hands somewhere on the legs, and we're just going to do a seated cat and cow. So I'm going to keep it simple. So take a breath in neutral, exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale, round your spine. Let your mind start and the movement start at the tailbone, make its way all the way up. And then inhale, arch the back. So moving with your breath, exhaling to round the spine. Inhaling to arch the back. Can you soften the jaw? Can you soften the face, the shoulders? Good. And then come back up to neutral, and let's come up to standing for a little while. I always find heart openers. I really like to do the standing ones. I like them on my shoulders, and it doesn't tweak the rest of the back for me personally. So we'll do some shoulder stuff from standing. Eventually we'll do some yoga mudras. So if you need a yoga tie or a strap or something, like I have my sweatshirt, that would work, even like a long sleeve shirt or something. But before we get into that, we have another movement of the spine we didn't do. So let your feet be about hip distance, a little wider actually. And find, just for right now, your most comfortable version of a standing mountain, right? Very balanced through the feet. What if there was no no specific cues? You were just kind of landed here, gravity kind of pushed you to the ground, and somehow you just landed in good posture. So in as easy a way as you can find it, turn your palms to face forward. Sometimes I feel like we stress the details. We don't want to stress the details, right? We want to just like arrive. So arrive in your mountain, right? You're strong, confident. I got this mountain. Palms face forward. And as you inhale, reach your arms as gently up towards the sky as they want to go. They can go a little bit. They can go pretty far. It's up to your shoulders. And then exhale very gently. Bring the arms back down. Good. And let's do it again. Inhale. You can go at your own pace. Yeah. Some of you are already in it. So you inhale, the arms come up. The exhale, the arms go down. Using a little bit more belly strength than back strength. I say that a lot because I notice myself doing that a lot, kind of stressing the back. The lumbar spine is there to support our weight. It takes the brunt of the load. But when we don't strengthen the core, it gets taxed, a little too taxed. Great. So the next time the arms are overhead, if that feels safe and okay, you can also use a yoga tie if you want. Let your right hand grab your left wrist and just give a little pull. For right now, let it just be the arm and shoulder. So just stretching arm and shoulder. Relax the shoulders, stand up nice and tall. Remember, easy standing posture. And then let your hand continue to draw you over, and then let the back get involved. So a little side stretch. Maybe you even kind of shift the hips over to the left. Then slowly come back up. Other hand, other wrist. So start with the arm, just giving the gentlest pull and elongation, right? A little traction on the joints and the shoulder. And then when it feels good, if it feels good, you can arc over to your side. Let the hips drift just a little bit to the right and breathe. Good. And then slowly come back up. Release your arms. Either interlace the hands behind you, grab your yoga tie, or hands to your low back and squeeze the elbows together. So we're just going to do yoga mudra. So those of you interlaced or with a yoga tie, just bend your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades together really gently, not in a forceful way, and then lengthen the arms. So just starting to really gently work on this heart opening standing position. So just breathe. Right? Finding balance. Sometimes we come into this and then we instantly hinge, but what if this is just standing for now, right? Just belly needs to engage towards the spine a little bit so that we don't overarch the back. And maybe that can help you kind of open the heart a little more. Can you breathe a little deeper? Good. And then eventually on an exhale, let your arms just float forward. And notice how you feel. All right, let's add to that a little bit. We'll do a little variation. So feet about hip distance, right? Find your very gentle, I just landed on this earth in this, strong, tall, confident yoga form, right? Mountain. So balanced on your feet, lifting up through your heart, soft through the shoulders. And as you inhale, we're going to do some sun breath or a half sun salutations. Inhale the arms up. And then exhale, start to engage your belly, hinge at your hips, keep lengthening. Right? You're still strong and proud and confident, and you're just folding forward. And then inhale to a flat back. Maybe hands are on the floor. Maybe hands are to shins or above the knees. Elongate the spine, legs, and arms. And then exhale, fold. Take your time. Slow, deep breath. Let's do that again. Inhale, slow, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, shift your weight into your heels, reverse your swan dive. Let the legs and the belly do the work. Arms all the way up. Hands overhead. Great. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. And actually, let your hands drift all the way back, either hands to the hips or yoga mudra. Grab a yoga tie if you need it. And we'll do that same thing again. Right. So I always kind of scoot the shoulder blades together, bend the elbows, and then I just gently start to lengthen. And we'll take a few breaths here because sometimes when you come into something at first, a stretch, a yoga form, sometimes we will it, right? We tense the body. But can you stand here for a moment as if it was your new normal? In other words, can you soften around it? And actually this time, instead of doing our sun breath, let's keep the arms like this. So take a breath in, stand up tall. And then exhale, hinge at your hips. Let the arms keep feeling as if they're stretching away from the back. Take another breath in, just like this. And then exhale, release your arms gently towards the floor. And then we'll do flat backs from here. So inhale, flat back, hands to shins or above the knees, or blocks if you want. Exhale, fold. I usually grab my blocks and I didn't today. That's all right. So inhale, elongate, halfway lift, hands somewhere, wherever they want to go. And then exhale, fold. And let's come back up the same way we got here. Let's see if that's possible. So I like to bring the hands to the hips, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then interlace the fingers. So if you need to grab your yoga tie, you can. Bend your knees. So right back into yoga mudra. But can you relax your head? Good. Bend your knees, shift your weight into your heels, and imagine someone's picking you up by your handle. Come all the way up. Carefully, slowly, and stand with your heart wide open. Good. If you released already, that's okay. Take a breath in, and as you release, let your arms float forward. And just take a moment. Notice how you feel. Good. Let's do it the first way. So we'll keep alternating. We'll be inspired by our alternating yoga weeks. We'll alternate sun breath with yoga mudra. So let's see. Oh, let's do a mountain like we did it before. So arms or palms face forward, arms at your sides. Just the most like relaxed, confident mountain pose you can find. Not overly stressed, any detail, just like, you just landed here. And when you're ready, inhale, float your arms up, get a little taller. Good. Exhale, swan dive. Hinge at your hips. Let your belly do a lot of the work. Legs are obviously doing work. Stretching your back as you fold over. And then inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. Hinge or bend at the knees. Shift back the weight into your heels. Then reverse your swan dive. Let the belly do the work. Let the legs do the work. Arms overhead. And exhale, let your hands drift straight down the midline, but they can separate and you can clasp your hands behind you or hands to your hips. So yoga mudra, elbows bend, shoulder blades squeeze together, then arms lengthen. And just make peace with this. Right? Noticing how when I know I do this, I don't know about everybody, but I come into a stretch and the body's like, got it, and it tenses, right? So we want to do that and then go, oh, no, no, no. Can you soften muscles, right? Yeah, and breathe into it, opening the heart. Good. And let's fold forward one more time. So take a breath in. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips, still in yoga mudra arms. If that feels okay, fold over. Bend at your knees if you want. We're going to hang out here for a breath or two. Let your head dangle. And breathe. You can always nod your head just really gently as if to say no. Yes, if you'd like. My neck was only feeling the no. Good. Bend your knees. We're going to come up again. So lift as if you can being picked up by your handle. Come all the way up to standing and float your arms forward. So slightly different. Sorry, I keep switching it up. Good. And when you get there, notice how you feel. Can you find your very neutral, very balanced mountain? All right. So let's bring the feet a little wider. So you can turn sideways on your yoga mat if you need to. Let's see. And let's start here. This just popped into my mind. So if you bring your toes out a little bit so they face the corners of your yoga mat, you can bring your arms up unless they're tired from all the yoga mudra. 5-pointed star. Although I call this version starfish, it's not, authentic or anything. I'm not trying to be irreverent. I just feel more like a starfish when I do it like this. So the traditional way I was always taught was toes forward and arms parallel to the ground, but I kind of like this version. So just opening the heart, relax your shoulders and breathe. Find the balance. Sometimes there's a little sway, right? We're not used to standing like this. Can you just take up space? Take another breath in, and very slowly as you exhale, float your arms down. Might take a couple breaths to get there. That's okay. Good. And let's rearrange the feet. So you can kind of come back to neutral, toes facing forward. We're going to rearrange again, but that's okay. And then let your right foot turn out. We'll do warrior 2 stance, and then left toes in a little bit. So find your strength and your balance. And start to bend and straighten. We did some hip stuff, but we didn't do it weight bearing, right? We didn't do it on our feet. So just bending and straightening, kind of drawing the knees as if they could roll away from each other. And that's going to kind of keep the right knee tracked over the ankle. It's going to keep you thinking about your left foot, right? Left leg. That's important too. Great. And the next time you bend, just pause there, right? Find your stable stance, your balance. And from here, we're going to do that little strengthening thing I like to do. It's always a little hard for me to language, but I think you guys get it. But for some reason, I always trip on my words. So I'm going to try my best. So basically, when we're going, let's start here. Let me see if I can handle this. So bring your arms parallel to the ground. You can take a break with the right leg anytime you need it. And you're going to take your left hand and push it in front of your navel, like right in front of you, like an inch away from your belly, as if you're pushing a wall away from you as you bring your right arm up. So it's like warrior or reverse warrior. And then come back through center. And then other hand, right hand pushes in front of you horizontally as you come into that lateral angle stretch, but not all the way. So you inhale nice and strong into warrior, and exhale, one hand kind of pushes like an imaginary wall towards your right leg as the arm comes up. Come back through center and switch. And I'm just going to do it for a moment in case you're like, what the heck are you talking about? I find we can go back and forth between warrior 2, lateral angle, and reverse warrior. But as soon as we do this little hand thing, it's like, oh, now strengthening my core, right? We're also strengthening the legs, right? We're not just kind of stretching all the way. We're staying strong and stable. So keep breathing. So we did a lot of stretchy things before where I sort of asked you to really relax into them. Now it's the opposite. Use your muscles, right? We could hang out in the bones and make it a stretch, but let's use the muscles. Great. And let's pause in warrior 2. So next time you're in neutral, just pause. Good. And then take a little break. Lengthen your leg. Inhale. Reach your arms up. If they're clasped, if your hands want to clasp, you can clasp and just lengthen. So point your tailbone towards the floor, reach the hands up towards the sky. Good. And then from here, bend your knee. And we're going to do this a little different. Bring the left arm down, reach it down towards the left foot as the right fingers reach up towards the sky and slightly over to your side. So a little curve. So basically reverse warrior. I don't know why I made it so wordy. Good. And then come back through neutral. Same thing. Hands clasp overhead. Lengthen. If you need a break, take a break with the right leg. And then bring your right arm or hand or forearm to the thigh as you stretch through the left fingers. Reach through the outer edge of the left foot. Breathe. Soften where you can. So this one's more of a combination of some strength and some stretch. Good. And then we'll just release right out of this. So float your arms down, lengthen your legs, turn your toes. And my feet need a break. I don't know about you, but you can bring your feet together, shake it out, do what you need to do. Before we switch sides, do something that would feel good to you. I was going to do a standing swinging twist, but then I saw some people folding forward. So do whatever would feel good, right? You're in your space. So do whatever your back is calling for, whatever your feet, shoulders are calling for. Forward fold, downward facing dog, child's pose, a water break, a break to pet the dog, whatever you need to kiss the cat. I try really hard not to disturb the cats constantly, but it's so hard. They're so cute. Okay, and then very gradually come back to center. Come back to just standing on your yoga mat. And if you did down dog, if you did something else, take your time. You can make your way back to your yoga mat in your own time. Find your balance. Find stillness. Right? As if like you just very gently floated to the earth and just ding, like you're in good posture, right? I don't know why I keep doing that visual. We parachuted to the earth very gently. Okay, so I tried to promise I wouldn't be super silly for class, and I can't promise that. So fine, we'll do warrior 2 on the side. So feet wide apart. No guarantees, guaranteed. Left toes out, right toes in. So we'll do that like strength version first. Oh no, we're gonna warm up the knee first. So bend and straighten your left knee. Sorry, I almost forgot. Just keep breathing. Just keep noticing, right? You are a whole body. You're not just a leg that is getting worked as you do warrior 2, right? Your whole body. So see if you can keep your awareness on your whole body. And then eventually when you feel ready, you can land, right? Nice in that strong, steady, balanced place. And we'll start with arms parallel. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, we'll start with the right hand pushing in front of you as if you're pushing a heavy wall as the right arm drifts up. Really strong reverse warrior, and then breathe your way back to center, warrior 2, and other side. Left hand pushes a heavy wall in front of you as you go into lateral angle, back to warrior 2. So just keep slowly moving, pulling the belly into the spine. Imagining that you're pushing something pretty heavy but movable in front of you. Feeling the weight shift as you move from one form to the other. Remember, in my class, you are always welcome to modify, to opt out, to rearrange, to do it differently, to say no, thank you, right? It's all good. All right, so let's see. Next time you're in warrior 2, arms parallel, just take a break, lengthen your legs. Bring your hands to prayer position. You can interlace your fingers and reach your arms up, as long as your shoulders agree with that, and just get nice and tall. If and when the leg is ready for it, you can bend the knee again and keep that length through the left arm. Bring your right arm down, gently slide it towards the foot as you reach the left fingers up towards the sky. I always like to look up. Your neck will tell you what you want to do, what it wants you to do. Keep breathing. Soften through the shoulder. Good. And then come back through center. You can take a break. You can lengthen your left leg. I always take more breaks on the left than the right because I had an injury there. So do what you need to do. Lengthen, interlace fingers. They reach up overhead. You can bend the knee. And then we'll do the opposite side. Reach through the right fingers as you slowly drift the left arm down. Come into whatever version of a lateral angle stretch or a side bend stretch would feel good. Or side bend isn't the right word. You know what I mean. Keep breathing. Finding that blend, right? That balance of strength and stretch, will and surrender. Good. And then we'll just sort of drift out of this. So the arms can go down, you lengthen your legs, turn your toes. If your legs are fine like this, you can just fold forward. If you need a break, step your feet together first. But maybe a forward fold would feel excellent. But if your feet need a break, take a little break. And then feet wide apart. Yeah. So just letting your head hang heavy, take a really deep breath in through the nose, let it out through the mouth. Good. And then bend your knees, spin your heels in and your toes out a bit. Walk your way up halfway and pause. Good. And then you can come all the way up to standing. You can walk your feet together. We'll take a little break. I did want to do one more yoga mudra, but I wanted to do it wide angled, but the feet maybe need a break. So you can rearrange if you need to. All right. One more if you have it in you, if you want. We'll do yoga mudra, but with feet wide apart. So hands, remember, you can grab your yoga tie or a prop. Interlace the fingers, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lengthen your arms and then hinge at your hips. So the rule of thumb is if you feel like you can't get your arms away from your back at all, your hands just need to be wider so you can grab a tie if that's the case. And then you decide, knees bent, legs straight. I find if I bend the knees really deep and let the body hang through, then it stretches my hips more. So, it can kind of become a hip stretch if you need it to, if you want it to. Maybe you sway the torso a little bit. Whatever you do, make sure you're being careful, cautious, loving to the body, right? And then if your hands are still in yoga mudra, just release them towards the floor. Good. And from here, right, we'll do that wide angled down dog. So the feet do all the work, the legs do all the work. You're just going to reach your fingers forward, not weight bearing. Just reach them forward until you can't reach them forward anymore. Bend your knees maybe a little bit and stretch your hips away from your fingers. And it's a good, I always like to feel my fingers kind of dragging back just a little bit because it lets me know that I am not putting weight in them. So all the weight is in your legs. So breathe. So stretching the arms, stretching the upper back, stretching the shoulders. The legs could stretch if you keep them straight, but you decide bent or straight. I find a stretch even if they're bent. And then walk your hands back to you. And from here, I'm going to leave this as yogi's choice, how you get to the ground. So we're going to take a little rest. So you can come into child's pose. You can come into seated. If you're ready to lie down. Some people love down dog. If you need a downward facing dog in your life, you can do that now if you want. But we'll do some belly down stuff. So let's take 5 breaths to make our way to the ground. So whatever you need to do. 5 complete breaths, meaning 1 breath has an inhale and an exhale. And whenever you're ready, if you haven't already made your way there, you can make your way onto your belly. And when you do get there, you can turn your head to one side. Arms where you want them. And once you're on your belly, you can bend your knees and let your feet go side to side. You could turn your head the other way. And then release your feet and bring your chin or forehead to the yoga mat. And bring your arms along the sides of your body with the palms facing down. And I always like to start in mountain here, basically. We're obviously not standing on our feet, but we can imagine mountain. So you can curl your toes under, press back through the heels, gently engage the legs, press your pelvis towards the floor. And then kind of imagine what the torso would be doing if you were in mountain. So the belly pulls into the spine, the heart lifts up, shoulders kind of roll up, back, and down. And the crown of the head can reach away from the feet. You can uncurl the toes. So we want to practice that lengthening. So fingers lengthen away from shoulders, toes lengthen away from crown. Crown lengthens away from toes. So keep pressing your pelvis down a little bit to keep that strength. So inhale, lengthen through everything. And as you exhale, lift toes, fingers, arms, legs, chest, head, everything that can lift. And then exhale, lower down. Lengthen, inhale, and exhale, lift. So you don't have to go far. My back goes back and forth between whether it likes these things or not. But I find if I can just keep it very, very small and strengthening. If you'd like to hold, you can hold and breathe. And whenever you're ready to release, you can turn your head to one side, bend your knees, and let your feet go side to side. And turn your head the other way. And if it isn't, actually, let's do this. So you can bring your chin to the floor again. You can bring your legs to stillness behind you and come up onto your forearms. So kind of what we did before is find mountain. We want to kind of find mountain here. So obviously the back is in a little back bend, but if you pulled your belly into your spine, that'll make it a little more neutral. So the tailbone kind of points towards the floor a little bit. So if your knees need padding here, you can pad them up. You can also, if you're feeling very, very strong today, you can curl the toes under and lift the knees. I always keep my knees down. We're going to do a forearmed plank. So you keep your gaze kind of out like a couple feet away from your fingers. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you can start to lift your hips. I like to come in and out of this. Some people like to hold it. You choose. And to find out what you need today. And I did a bunch of these this morning, so I'm probably not going to do too many because I'm a little tired. So find out what you need. Hold for a few breaths, and whenever your body says, check please, you can come on down. And I didn't mean to like pull you out of that too soon. Like my body doesn't want to do any more, but if you need more, hang out there. And when you release, it might feel good to let your knees go side to side again. We're going to do one more thing, belly down, very relaxed when you are ready. All right, so eventually the legs can find stillness. You can turn your head to the right. We're going to do half frog. So you can bend your right knee and gently draw it out to the side. Perfect. So make sure your body is comfortable. And just slow down. Breath. Allow the breathing to be the stretch. Stretching the diaphragm. When the abdomen expands, it'll help stretch the back as it pushes into the belly and then up against the low back. Breath like a massage tool from the inside, right? It's gently stretching. Chin. And when you're ready to switch, you can switch, releasing the leg that's out, bringing the opposite one, turning your head, and taking a few slow, deep breaths here. Deepening the breath, noticing what you need. And when you feel complete, you can release your leg, and your way over to one side. So just roll over to one side. Just taking a break here. And then when you're ready, you can roll right over onto your back. And when you get there, you can pull your knees into your chest. Hold the knees or wrap your arms around the legs and gently rock side to side. Good. And from here, we'll do our supine twist. So you can bring your feet to the floor. If you know you like a block or blanket between your knees or pillow, you can do that. Arms out wide. And just gently scoot your hips a little bit more right of center. So they're going to scoot over to the right. Either let your knees just drop to the left, or they can come in towards your left arm and then over. So feet, legs touch the floor, and turn your head to look right. So prioritize ease and comfort, right? If there's any pain or any tension because you're kind of guarding against pain, you're in it too far. So release a bit. And take a few slow, deep breaths. Any variations are welcome here. Good. Whenever you're ready, you can start to unwind. Knees come up, square your hips. Just give your back a moment before you switch sides. And then the hips can go a little left of center. Knees come in and over to the right. And your head looks left. So taking a few slow, deep breaths. Making any variations that you need to make. And breathing slowly and deeply. Pain is not the point. So if you find any details of pain, back off, rearrange, make it more gentle. Although it seems obvious, I often need that reminder, right? Whenever you feel ready and balanced on this side, you can start to unwind. It might feel good to bring the knees into the chest. You can rock side to side. And from here, I'm going to hand the practice over to you for the next couple of minutes. So you can really move according to what the body needs, right? Some of the requests we had today were core, hips. We did a little bit of core. Arms, neck, shoulders. So just see heart openers. See if there's anything else that you need, your body needs. It might be on that list. It might not be. It might be something that looks like yoga. Maybe not. Feel ready for relaxation, you can set yourself up for it. I always give us about 10 minutes, but if you feel like that's too long or too short, you are welcome to modify it because you are in your own space. You can do this however you want. But you want to make sure that you're comfortable. So once you are comfortable, right? Once you're ready for relaxation, start to practice your slow, deep breathing once again. And as you take a few more slow, deep breaths, let your mind move through your body. Just noticing what you notice. Inviting the body to relax, to be still, to practice the art of letting go. If you feel ready to return to consciousness, you can start to deepen the breath. You can start to return your sort of mind's attention to your body as you move fingers and toes. Might feel good to rock your head side to side, to stretch or yawn, or really do whatever the body is calling for. And if you're not ready, that's fine too. For those of you who are eventually making your way, maybe to one side, right? Bringing the knees in, rolling over, gently making your way back up to seated. And when you do arrive, keep your awareness focused inward and just take a moment to notice how you feel. Just noticing the effect of your practice, where your mind is at, how your body feels, what your breath is up to. And just giving yourself a gentle reminder that this version of you is yours. You did all the work. I just made some suggestions. And you can return to this version of you anytime you need it. So if it's comfortable, you can bring your hands into prayer position in front of the heart. And let's complete our practice the same way we started, with the sound of Om. You're welcome to just listen if you'd rather. So taking a breath in together. Om. Peace, peace, Shanti, peace. You can bow your head to your heart. Jai Bhagwan, I honor the divine light within, right? Victory to the divine light within. Namaste. Peace, peace, peace. You can lift your gaze whenever you're ready. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to stop the recording if I can figure out how to do that. There we go.